Hello and good afternoon, guys. It's Aaron, your personal coach. Welcome to my weekly Friday presentation. Every Friday, I want to do a presentation to you guys to educate you, to help improve your health and fitness. Today, the topic is going to be on time management, how to get some more out of your time, out of your week. There's more time out of your week. And obviously, some motivation. Them two go obviously like hand in hand as well. If you're not like motivated, you're not really going to put a lot of time into your health and fitness. So changing your thought process towards like your motivation is going to help obviously make that more of a priority, and it's going to give you more time. Anything is possible if you want it to happen, right? If you tell yourself you're so like busy, so many conversations I have obviously on a daily basis where people are too busy, haven't got time, right? That's the number one story we tell ourselves, no time. And the more we say that, the less time that we actually have. We need to flip that around and tell ourselves that we've got more time, even though if we don't at the time, right? Manifesting things are really, really important, but we're going to get into that shortly. So like I said, every Friday, I want to do a presentation at 2:30 p.m. It will be recorded. So if you're watching the recording, thank you so much. You can post a comment, give me some feedback. So every Friday, 2:30. I chose this topic today because I put a little bit of a survey, I suppose, in my members group, right? What's more important? Is it nutrition? Is it fitness? Is it exercise? Is it like motivation? Is it time management? So those two things were obviously a bit of a higher priority, time management and like motivation. So that's what most people are struggling with. I did a bit of research into it as well. And this is probably the biggest problem towards health and fitness. People don't have time, right? So I want to come up with some solutions and some strategies to overcome that today. So the objectives for today, let's get rid of this one here. Objectives today is going to be open your mind for some new ideas, right? I want to motivate you towards your goals. If you've heard me speak before, goals is the number one priority in the health and fitness and life program. It's as simple as that. If you haven't got a goal, right, it's not going to be as subconscious, right? If we've got obviously a logical goal versus subconscious goal and we can tie them together, it's going to make it a lot stronger. So I want to touch on that as well. I don't want to talk too much on stuff that you may have heard before, but I want to give you a different perspective of it. Understanding the small things are also going to be important. Example like the goals, right? Putting a goal on a piece of paper, right? Emotionalizing your goal every day. These are the small things that really count that most people aren't doing. Right? They're thinking, oh, I've got to get to the gym. It's going to be hard. But if you just spend 2 minutes a day emotionalizing what your goal is, right, that's going to become very powerful after 28 days. 28 days to make a change, 12 weeks to get a result, right? That's what we need. Setting up the best week possible. How do we set ourselves up for the best week possible? So I want to give you some strategies to help set you up with a fantastic week that's going to get you waking up on Monday, and you're going to be super motivated to do everything that you set out to do, right? If you get that in your mind and you bring it to the front of the mind and you make it strong, you make it powerful, it will happen, right? If you're not thinking about it, if you're thinking about all the stress, all the bullshit that goes on in the week, you're going to have a stressful, shitty week. It's as simple as that, right? And then I want to talk about executing for success, right? How do we execute? Is what I'm going to be teaching to be successful. Right. A lot of that is going to be consistency. So first thing, 6 steps to optimal health. Obviously, everything towards time management and motivation. If you haven't got these foundation principles in line, right, it's going to be a lot more challenging, right? This is why people fall off the wagon. They can't sustain it because they've got all these other smaller steps that they've missed, right? You can't put a 2-story place on a shit foundation. Right? If you're missing the importance of a good foundation, you're going to break down quickly, right? And that means failing in 28 days. So setting the foundation, right? Motivation, we're going to talk about goal setting. Just simple things like breathing correctly through the diaphragm, not short, shallow chest breathing, right? Hydration is super important. Are you drinking 2 to 3 liters of good quality water a day? right? I'm still having consultations with people on a daily basis that are still drinking tap water, right? Tap water is safe. It's safe, but it's not good for the digestion, right? It's not good for the body. It's got a low mineral intake as well. So we're not driving that into the cells and we're not getting hydrated properly. We go in the toilet too much, going straight through our system. So that's important. Sleeping, right? So many people are not sleeping correctly, right? Critical sleeping times work with our circadian cycles is 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., right? Physical repair, 10 to 2, psychological 2 to 6, right? And this is a big stress on the body if we're not sleeping in them hours, right? We start to disrupt our sleep-wake cycle, which our hormones start to get disrupted. We start craving sugars, right? All sorts of things can happen. So our body is not in sync, right? So we need to get our body in sync and make sure we're sleeping 10 to 6. And look, so most people I speak to, it's not like you're going to click your fingers and be sleeping 10 to 6 every night, but it's something you start to work on over 28 days to get that change. Okay, like nutrition, right? Another big thing, if you're eating crap food, you're going to feel like crap. As simple as that. You can't eat shit food and expect to be like motivated, right? To expect to have a good plan in the week towards your goals. Because if you're eating shit food, you're going to feel like shit. You're not going to feel like doing your exercise or whatever, I suppose, like you got planned. And it's going to be unsuccessful. So you really want to think about what foods you are putting in your body as well. Super, super important for nutrition, right? Because if you're not eating correctly, like I said, you're going to feel like shit. You're not going to want to do what you've got planned. So you really need to be making sure you're drinking like water, you're sleeping, and you're eating good quality foods, right? 3 meals a day. Okay. Quality stuff is going to be really, really important. Okay, exercise. Obviously, exercise is at the bottom of the 6 steps. It's the last. So if you haven't got all them things above, right, and you're going straight into exercise, bang, another stress on the body. You really want to be focused on the things above it before we start exercising. And look, obviously, minimal requirements for exercise. If you just walk in the morning before breakfast, that's a great starting point. Okay, most of you guys have got an exercise program, an exercise plan. So you know like what you're doing there, but we need just to like revisit and sometimes just like recap on these 6 steps, like really, really important. Okay, how can we motivate? Sorry, I can't see this behind this with the right. How can we manage time and create motivation? Well, I think about that. How can we manage our time? Anything is possible. Anything is possible if you want it to happen. The biggest problem is we lose focus on our goals, right? We lose focus. So if you're on my coaching program, you know what the pathway predictions is. It's a process that I set all my members through. It's a matter of setting a logical goal. It's a matter of setting a index of goals, like which I want to talk about shortly. And then it's a matter of setting a 3-month plan. With that 3-month plan, like I said, emotionalizing that goal every day and then setting that goal in the subconscious mind, right? If that goal is not set in the subconscious, then it's not going to be as powerful, right? There's steps to make your goal rock solid, right? If you're putting pen to paper and you're just putting some fluffy shit down on paper, right? And then you're chucking it to the side, you're going to forget about it, right? A goal on a piece of paper is something you need to look at every day. You need to emotionalize it every day and you have to believe in it, truly believe in it. This is another roadblock. People don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in themselves, so they can't achieve that goal. They think they can't achieve that goal, right? In the back of their mind, they're running a story why they think they can't achieve that goal. And that's like when we start to come up with excuses, right? So like we need to cut the excuses. So we need to be like responsible for our own abilities, our own time management, our own motivation. And we need to really start to bring that front of mind, what we want to achieve. Okay, so look, time management. If this is something that is really a struggle, in your life, if you're struggling to get exercise done, you're struggling to manage your time, right? So what I generally do is like, we need to put this top of your index list. Okay. Now, as I said, if you're on my coaching program, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, as I said, I've got a structure with the pathway predictions, and this index setting is the first part of that process. So what I generally do is set up 5 things that we want to focus on. So example, if it's time management, it's like fitness, it's like finances, it's travel, it's like relationships, right? These are things that are important to you in life, right? Now, if you've got bad time management and you're not getting your fitness done, you wouldn't put fitness at the top of that list. So end of the day, we need to prioritize what's important to you to make the best out of your life, right? So I want you to really think about that. And if you're not aware of my pathway prediction program, I can give you the first 3 videos, okay, for free, just to get a rough idea of what it's all about. And this will help you set that index of goal and your 3-month plan. So all you need to do is just send me an email or message, and I'll flick them to you. So what I want you to do, look, it's that quarter of the year again that we need to reset some goal. We should be setting goals every 3 months, right? So because it's that time of year, I want you to go back and revisit your index of goals. If time management is a big problem, all we got to do, put that at the top of the list. Let's start the work on that then, right? If you set some goals the last quarter, excuse me, if you set some goals the last quarter and you didn't quite achieve them because something else come up, or if you didn't have time, right, you might want to put the time management at the top of this list. If you haven't got the Google Sheet as well, I've got a whole template of this goal setting. Just email me or message me, and I'll send that to you happily. Right, the 3-month goal. So this is the plan that we do for time management, right? I want you to put a big dream. What you example, it might be a big dream could be to be retired at 50, right? And have as much time as possible to yourself, right? That could be a goal, right? It could be a goal for you, it could be a goal for me. I actually wanted to retire at 40, but didn't quite happen. So 12-month goal could be, look, I want to have, say, 2 or 3 days off a week just to myself, with the family, with the kids, whatever, right? And then the 3-month goal, it might be, okay, I might have 1 day off or something really specific to you, right? I want to hit all my training sessions every week, right? Something like that. That's a bit more like fitness goal. But think about time management now. What can you put down as a 3-month goal to really manage your time? Okay, like I said, it could be I'm going to give myself, say, 2 hours a day to myself. It could be even 1 hour a day training, right? Start small, right? And then we put down 5 small stepping stones to get there, right? So these are normally objectives that come up, and you have to think about what objectives are stopping you from having more time, right? It could be work, right? How can you change that now? How can you change your workloads, or how can you be smarter with your work to give yourself more time? We need to break that down into 5 steps, right? Then what I want you to do is create some pictures here, right? If we put pictures on our goal setting sheet, that goes in a lot more stronger into the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind works really good on pictures. It never forgets, right? And if we can correlate a picture to what our goal is, right, it's never going to forget that. And like I said, we need to emotionalize our goals. Even when we're not thinking about it consciously, it's still running in the background. That's how we can create more motivation, right? So the whole idea, and this is a big thing why I push the goal setting process so hard, because it creates more motivation. It's going to give you more inspiration to achieve your goals a lot stronger. So just think about that for a second. So this is the small things that make the bigger difference, right? If you haven't got 20 or 30 minutes to sit down and spend some time on your goal setting sheet, then at the end of the day, you're setting yourself up for failure, or it's never going to be as successful, right? There's a process for everything in life. And this is a process that has worked great for me personally and for all the people I've been coaching for the last 2 decades. People that put the hard work in to do this, they achieve their goals and they are successful in what they want to achieve. So like I said, again, if you haven't got this sheet, just send me an email, a message, or like whatever, and I'll flick you that Google sheet. Subconscious goal setting, right? So this is in my pathway predictions as well. What I love to do, once we've got that goal setting sheet on paper, right? And I've got a whole process, I've got a whole meditation that I go through to set that goal in the subconscious. But I'm going to break that down for you today and keep it really simple, right? So once you've got that goal setting sheet on here on the paper, right, before we go to bed each night, I want you to go 3 months, close your eyes, a relaxed state. I want you to go 3 months into the future, right? It's where you can see yourself being successful for achieving that goal, right? Time management we're talking about today. So I want you to float in that picture. I want you to float to that picture in 12 weeks' time. And I want you to see yourself being successful and having the most amount of time that you desire, right? Every night, I want you to think that. And then what I want you to do, I just slowly come back to now. I want you to see yourself overcoming all them objectives, them 5 stepping stones that you put down. I want you to see yourself overcoming the bullshit stories that you tell yourself each day, like why you can't do it, right? And then once you get back to now, you start to believe in yourself, right? A simple exercise that can take 2 to 3 minutes every night, right? It's a simple process. As I said, I've got a whole meditation that goes for about 10 or 15 minutes, which is a lot more complex than what I just told you, but very, very successful if you can do that each night. If you could do that each night for 28 days, I guarantee, I promise you, you'll have more time at the end of that, right? Because you're starting to believe it. You're starting to manifest that. Now, when you manifest something, it happens. Anything can happen if you believe in it, right? So that's a really good thing I recommend to do every night, right? Like I said, I've got a process, but something simple like that, 2 minutes or 3 minutes, when you're lying in bed. How relaxing can it be also to help put you to sleep, right? You're taking your mind off all the other bullshit as well that has been going through your head in the day, right? Like work stress, family stress, kid stress, whatever stresses, right? If you think about what your goal is going to be, that's going to make a big difference in regard to achieving that goal. In 28 days, you'll make changes. 12 weeks, you get a result. Alrighty, now mental planning, right? How do we set ourselves up? So logically, right? Like you might have a training program. Example could be Training Peaks. If you're on my coaching program, I put all my programs in Training Peaks, so you know exactly what you're doing, like Monday to Sunday, right? Or you might have a calendar schedule, or you might have the old school diary, right? So whatever type of planning that you have, right? So we need to have that logical planning. That is still important, right? Because we got 2 sides of the brain, right? And those 2 sides of the brain are going to be important to put them in on both sides, right? All the logical stuff, but then the subconscious stuff as well, to get them to come together to be successful. So if you've got your Training Peaks plan, I want you to look at it. And this is a good thing I do every week, right? I'll look at my training program. I'll have a look in there, and then I'll start to figure out what I need to do. I start to visualize my week from Sunday, right? A lot of people aren't doing it like this. They're too busy enjoying the weekend, or they're thinking about, I've got to go back to work tomorrow. How shit can that be, right? They're thinking about their job. They're not liking their job, right? So they're thinking about that. Instead of that, why not change that into a positive thought and start thinking about, right, I'm going to have a great week. So it's all about thought process and mindset. So if we have got a physical plan, a logical plan, Training Peaks, I want you to look at it every day, Monday, and then I want you to start to visualize that every day, right? If we've got a calendar, right, I want you to put your exercise in. If you haven't got much time, or you're time poor, and your management skills aren't that good, we need to put that down on paper as well. So we still start to see it. The logical start to convert into the subconscious now. right? So if you've got your training peaks, you've got your diary, right? We've got that set. Okay. The next thing is going to be starting to visualize that, right? And I do this every Sunday night, right? So what I'll do is I will start to have a look at all my plans and schedules of training peaks, your diary, obviously like your calendar setup, whatever. Then we start to think about what we are going to do, right? If something comes up, right? Like, what do we do? You've got to have a plan B strategy, right? Like plan A is, it's all there on paper, but like, what if something comes up? I had a great coaching call with someone this morning, and they said, oh yeah, look, I get up in the morning, I start work and I plan to do a run or some sort of exercise, but just I keep getting too busy, right? That's always going to happen, right? You have to change the process. If nothing changes, right, like nothing changes, as simple as that. So what we need to do is have non-negotiable exercises time. So this is scheduling something in the morning, before breakfast, before work, that we are going to commit to no matter what. It's not negotiable, right? If you are very time poor, it might be a 20 minute walk. It could be a quick, like half an hour arms run. It could be a 30 minute strength session, right? It's whatever is in your plan. And it's great to have this conversation with my members as well, to go, right, you're time poor, you're not getting all your training done. You've got some management problems, right? So what can we do to get around that? Right? That's the whole idea of having a coach as well. So if that's like you and you're not sure of a strategy, let's jump on that coaching call and let's talk about it. But most important, let's go back to what I was saying, setting yourself up with non-negotiable training exercise routines is absolutely essential. Right? Like, don't tell yourself. Sometimes what we do is we wake up in the morning and we go, shit, I'm so tired, I'll do my training at lunch. Right? That's a bullshit story you're telling yourself again. Right? You don't want to tell yourself story. Don't believe it. Don't believe that you're going to do it at lunch. Say, no, I'm strong enough to go, I'm going to do this now and get it done. Right? So this is a big time management, sort of, but more motivation. Right? If you're not motivating like yourself to get out of bed in the mornings, right, then you've got a problem. Right, 2 feet out of bed, stand up, walk around. By the time you get moving, you're going to be enjoying it and loving it. You come back, you finish your exercise, you're feeling great, you've got all them endorphins, you set yourself up for a great day. So a big strategy for time management is visualizing that you're going to see yourself getting up every morning, getting your training done no matter what, because it's non-negotiable. Right? I see people missing sessions all the time because of this big reason. Right? So change that thought process. Tell yourself it's not negotiable. Right? Get that in your head. Tell yourself that every day. It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. The more times you say it, the more times that you hear it, the more stronger it gets. Right? And if you can do that over 28 days, it's going to be super, super, super strong. All right. So just keep that in mind. That's a really good plan. So planning that Sunday night. Oops, I'll just go back here. So something else I've created is a meditation as well, right? Now, obviously I've said what you need to do, plan that, but if you're not too sure how to think about that, I've got a quick 10 minute. I'm calling it a meditation, but it's mainly to get your mind switched on so you can go through that process like Monday to Sunday of seeing yourself successful. So, if you're not in my members group, because I will post this meditation in this podcast. If you're not in the members group, just send me an email or like a message, and I will send that to you if you're interested in listening to that, because that is a very powerful tool. It's something I use every Sunday to set myself up for success, right? Successful week start on Sunday night, right? Instead of creating all that anxiety, all that stress, all that negativity, we need to turn that around and turn it into something more powerful, right? Make that brain more powerful and ignite that positivity inside you. So that's going to be really important to set yourself up. Okay, so the execution, right? Strategy, execution, then success, right? It's simple. So what we need to do is first of all, set up a index of goal, plan your 3 months. Subconscious goal setting. I gave you that quick strategy of every night time. Just spend 2-3 minutes just going into the future and seeing yourself being successful, right? And you can do this with every index of goal, right? It doesn't have to be time management. It could be like fitness, could be finances, could be all of those goals that I had on that index sheet. Mental planning, right? Like I said to you, when you do it on a Sunday night, have a look at all your logical stuff as well. Right, that stuff that is on paper is still important, but then it's going to be starting to visualize it. And then, as I said, I've got the podcast, so you can start to emotionalize that more subconsciously as well. And then consistently executing, right? This is another, I suppose you could call it a fall down, where people fall down because they're not consistent enough. They might do it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Before that 28 days, they fall off, right? And this is where we need to be strong, right? And tell yourself, I'm going to be consistent for a month with this, right? And then after a month, it becomes a lot more easier, right? We start to build some new pathways, right? Neurologically, to make it more stronger. So that's all I had today, guys. So that's just a quick presentation. Hopefully I've given you some good strategies. And yeah, look, like I said, if you're not too sure on obviously a lot of these things, go back to the start, just go through some of them steps that I said with the index, the 3-month plan, the subconscious, mental planning. I guarantee if you could stick with that 28 days and you believe that you can create more time, you will be able to create more time. I get people every day tells me I'm too busy, no time. You never tell anyone that. That's the number one secret. Any problems that you have, don't tell anyone, right? The more people you tell, the more stronger it becomes, right? Neurologically. I see people tell me I don't have time. They get less time. I see people, they don't have money. They get less money, right? You don't talk about it, right? If you've got a financial problem, you might talk about it to your partner or whatever, or your financial advisor, but you don't want to go telling random people, family or friends or people in the street or people at the shop about your problems, because what you're doing is making that stronger, right? So keep that inside. Tell people the opposite, right? I'm going to make more money. Example financial, but we're talking about time management here. Tell people that I'm going to create time. I'm going to make time. I'm going to give time to myself. Right there, that's the language that we need to talk about. Okay, guys, I'm done for today. Enough talking from me. Hopefully that's been helpful. Thank you guys for joining me today. And thank you guys for watching the rerun. I hope it's been great insight, and I hope it does help. If you've got any other questions, anything you're not sure of, you can send me a message on my website, on Facebook. You can send me an email. Anyway, you got the contact. I'd love to have a chat to you. Thanks so much. Ciao for now. See you next Friday.